A man stepped out of the shadows. Another one in a dark suit, but this time, he wasn't alone. Two more figures emerged behind him, their expressions unreadable. Adrian's body went rigid. Elena's pulse pounded. Trapped, she felt Adrian's hand slip from hers as he took a protective step in front of her. The man in the middle smirked. "You didn't think it would be that easy, did you?" Elena's stomach twisted. They had been waiting for them. Adrian didn't move. Elena barely breathed. The three men stood between them, and their only way out, the car that was supposed to take them far away from all of this. Adrian's fingers flexed at his sides, his stance shifting ever so slightly. Prepared, calculating, dangerous. The man in the center tilted his head. "You were always a smart one, Adrian." His smirk widened. "So, tell me, do you really think you can walk away from this?" Adrian exhaled slowly, his voice deceptively calm. "I don't think. I know." The man chuckled. "And what about her?" His gaze flicked to Elena, and she stiffened under the weight of his scrutiny. "You're willing to risk her life too?" Elena didn't flinch. "My life is my choice," she said coldly. "And I chose him." A flicker of amusement crossed the man's face before it disappeared. "Then you're both fools." He nodded toward his man. "Take him." The moment they moved, Adrian exploded into action. Before Elena could even register what was happening, Adrian lunged forward, grabbing the first man by the wrist and twisting it sharply. A sickening crack echoed through the empty street, followed by a pained grunt as the man collapsed to his knees. Elena barely had time to react before another man lunged at her. "Think, Elena." She didn't hesitate. She ducked just as the man reached for her, grabbing the first thing she could, her backpack. With all the force she had, she swung it, slamming it into his head. He staggered back, just enough for Adrian to grab him, landing a brutal punch to his jaw. The third man, the one who had done all the talking, reached into his coat. Elena's heart stopped. "Adrian!" she screamed. But Adrian had already seen it. The gun. Too late. A shot rang out. Elena froze. For a split second, the world stopped. Then, the man's body hit the ground. Elena's breath came in sharp gasps, her hands trembling as she turned her head. Adrian wasn't the one who fired. A figure stepped out from the darkness, lowering a gun. Elena's eyes widened. Luca, Adrian's oldest friend. The one he had cut ties with years ago. The man he once swore he couldn't trust. Luca let out a slow breath. "Took you long enough to run, Adrian." Adrian's expression was unreadable. "And what are you doing here?" Luca smirked. "Saving your stubborn ass, apparently." He nodded toward the car. "Unless you'd rather stay and wait for their backup?" Elena and Adrian exchanged a glance. No hesitation. Adrian grabbed her hand. They ran. The car sped to the darkened streets, the city shrinking in the rear-view mirror. Elena's breath was still shaky, her heart pounding against her ribs. She turned to look at Adrian, his knuckles white as he gripped the wheel, his jaw clenched in focus. Luca sat in the back seat, watching them with an amused smirk. "You two really know how to stir up trouble," he muttered. Elena exhaled, trying to steady herself. "You saved us." Luca chuckled. "Yeah, well, don't get used to it." He leaned forward slightly. "I had a feeling they wouldn't just let you go, Adrian. I figured you'd need a hand." Adrian kept his eyes on the road. "I don't trust you." Luca sighed dramatically. "That hurts, man. I'd have just put a bullet in one of theirs for you." Elena glanced between them. Tension still thick in the air. Whatever history existed between Adrian and Luca, it was complicated. But right now it didn't matter. "Where are we going?" she asked. Adrian finally glanced at her. His green eyes, even in the dim light, held something fierce. "Somewhere they can't reach us." Luca snorted. "Good luck with that. The Lawrence have people everywhere." He paused and sighed. "But I might know a place." Elena and Adrian both turned to him. "There's a man I know," Luca continued. "He owes me a favor. He can get you new identities, a fresh start. But once you disappear, that's it. No coming back. No reaching out to old friends. You have to let go of the past." Elena swallowed. Was she really ready for that? She looked at Adrian. His hand found hers, squeezing gently. This wasn't just about running. This was about freedom. About finally breaking away from the chains that had held them down for so long. She met his gaze. "Let's do it." Luca grinned. "Thought you'd say that." As the car disappeared into the night, Elena felt something shift deep inside her. They weren't just running anymore. They were starting over. Together. The morning sun bathed the quiet town in golden light, casting long shadows across the cobblestone streets. It had been months since Adrian and Elena had left behind the chaos of their past, trading danger for peace in a place where no one knew their names. Here, in a modest yet cozy cottage on the outskirts of a sleepy coastal village, they had built a life together, one filled with laughter, stolen kisses, and whispered dreams for the future. Adrian had never seen Elena so radiant. The soft curve of her growing belly was a constant reminder of the love they shared, a love that had defied every obstacle. He would often wake up before her just to watch her sleep, memorizing every detail of her peaceful face, tracing gentle fingers along her skin, as if he still couldn't believe she was real. She was his everything. The woman he had fought for, bled for, and nearly lost. One evening, under a sky painted with hues of pink and orange, he had been waiting for the perfect moment, and tonight felt right. Adrian led Elena through the garden. The moonlight filtered through the canopy of leaves, casting silver patterns on the stone pathway. The air was rich with the scent of jasmine, mingling with the soft rustle of leaves in the evening breeze. "Elena," he murmured, turning to face her. His green eyes, filled with unspoken emotions, locked onto hers. "From the moment I first laid eyes on you, my world was never the same. You are my peace, my light, and my greatest love. Every single day with you is a blessing I never deserved, yet I thank the heavens for it." She smiled softly, her heart pounding. "Adrian." He took her hands, dropping to one knee. "I want to spend forever with you. Not because I feel I have to, but because I can't imagine a life without you. Will you marry me?" Tears welled in Elena's eyes as she cupped his face, nodding before she could even find her voice. "Yes," she whispered, then laughed through the happy tears. "Yes, 1,000 times yes." Adrian slipped the ring onto her finger, his heart swelling with joy. He rose, capturing her lips in a deep, lingering kiss, the sound of the waves applauding their union. For the first time in a long time, everything felt right. The months that followed were filled with nothing but bliss. Adrian became fiercely protective of Elena, doting on her every need, running into town for midnight cravings, and whispering sweet promises to their unborn child as he rested his head against his stomach. They spoke of names, of dreams, of the kind of life they would give their baby. "We'll raise them with love," Adrian said one evening as he held Elena close, his hand resting gently on her belly. "No fear, no expectations, just love." Elena kissed his temple. "And safety." He nodded. "Always." But fate had other plans. At first, the clues were subtle. A misplaced item in their home, doors left ajar that they swore they had closed, the eerie feeling of being watched. Then came the chilling moments that changed everything. One night, as they returned home, Adrian's sharp instincts kicked in. Something felt off. The air was thick with an unexplainable tension. When he pushed the door open, he caught a glimpse of a shadowy figure near the back entrance. Without hesitation, he took off in pursuit, but by the time he reached the alley behind their house, the figure had vanished. No footprints, no trace, just a cold gust of wind that sent shivers down his spine. Then came the worst revelation. Their house had been ransacked. Nothing was stolen, but everything had been overturned, as if someone was searching for something or sending a message. A single note was left on the kitchen counter with a chilling message: "Blood ties never break." The next morning, their worst fears were confirmed when Luca, Adrian's trusted friend, the one who had helped them escape in the first place, showed up unexpectedly at their door, his expression grim. "Luca?" Adrian stiffened. What happened in not reaching out to old friends as agreed? Luca exhaled sharply. "I had to come. Adrian, your father, he's alive." Elena gasped, gripping Adrian's arm. "What?" "He faked his death," Luca continued, "and he's been watching you for months. I didn't know at first, but I started hearing whispers. Then I saw one of his men in town. He's planning something, Adrian. You need to leave. Now. Adrian clenched his jaw, dread creeping up his spine. But before they could act, tires screeched outside. Shadows moved beyond the windows. And then, bang, the front door burst open. Armed men flooded in, their weapons raised. Luca moved to react but was struck down, his body hitting the floor with a groan. He was conscious but dazed. And then he walked in, Elijah Loran, Adrian's father, impeccably dressed, eyes gleaming with cold triumph. His voice, however, carried something different this time, emotion. You were born into wealth, Adrian, Elijah said, stepping closer. We gave you everything. You went to one of the best schools. You were meant for greatness, for power, not to throw it away for some woman. Adrian's jaw tightened. You call this power? A life of crime and manipulation? I don't want any part of it. Elijah sighed, his gaze softening for the briefest moment. I raised you to be my successor. You could have had the world. I already have my world, Adrian shot back, glancing at Elena. Elijah's eyes darkened. Then perhaps she needs to be removed for you to come to your senses. A gun was raised toward Elena. No. Adrian lunged, shielding her with his body just as the trigger was pulled. The bullet grazed aside, crimson staining his shirt. Adrian! Elena screamed, reaching for him. But then, the sound of sirens. Flashing lights bathed the room in red and blue. Officers stormed in, guns drawn. Drop your weapons. On the ground. Elijah's men hesitated, but the overwhelming force left them no choice. One by one, they surrendered. The lead officer turned to Elijah, pulling out a warrant. Elijah Loran, you're under arrest for conspiracy, fraud, and organized crime. We've been building a case against you for over 20 years. Even when we learned of your death, we knew it was a lie. We planted a spy among your men, watched and waited. And now, this little stunt of yours? It gave us all we needed. Your empire is done. Elijah's face darkened. You fools. But the officers moved swiftly, locking him in handcuffs. Adrian, weakened but conscious, looked his father in the eye. You lost. Elijah sneered. This isn't over. But it was. Adrian was quickly attended to. Luca was revived, and Elena never left his side as they were taken to the hospital. As she held his hand, tears streaming down her face, Adrian whispered weakly, We're free. She kissed his forehead. Yes, my love, we are. As the past finally crumbled behind them, they looked toward the future. Together, and they built a life filled with love, joy, and an unbreakable bond, embracing the future together. Love knows no boundaries, not wealth, status, or color. Parents should guide their children, but never force their wishes upon them, especially in matters of the heart. True happiness is found in freedom, in choosing love over power, and in standing against the chains of a corrupt legacy. No empire built on crime can stand forever, for justice will always prevail.